community.
And this is the current general education system here at Morehead State. You have to have 2 math, 2 humanities, 2 science, 2 English, a FYS, and a capstone. But that will soon be a thing of the past. And this is the Lux program. Think of it as building blocks. You have 1 writing, 1 math, 1 communications, 2 natural science, 1 social science, and 1 art and humanities, 1 written comms, 1 global cultures, 1 social justice. For the general education program in Morehead State, things will be changing. For NewsCenter, Drew Spangler.
Morehead officials hope to have the plan in place by fall of 2020.
Kentucky educators gathered Monday in Frankfort to rally against proposed cuts to their retirement benefits. Hundreds of teachers came together to voice their concerns on the proposed pension reform bill referred to as Senate Bill 1. On Thursday, the first organized protest was held in front of public schools with parents and students to help voice educators' concerns. Rowan County teachers did not attend the gathering in Frankfort, but showed their support by rallying on Flemingsburg Road Wednesday.
Pikeville police officer Scotty Hamilton was fatally shot during an incident late Tuesday night. Hamilton was a 12-year veteran of the department who was involved with an investigation on the scene late Tuesday night with KSP trooper Matt Martin when they were encountered by a suspicious vehicle. Martin heard gunshots and shortly after found Hamilton with fatal gunshot wounds. Martin was pronounced dead at the scene. John Russell Hall has been arrested this morning as the lead suspect. A candlelight vigil in Hamilton's honor will be held tonight at 8 p.m.
A Facebook post caused a panic in Morehead late last week. A woman posted a video on Facebook stating that she was being followed. Within hours, the video had dozens of shares. Rowan County Sheriff Matt Sparks later told the Morehead News the situation was a false alarm and he does not believe the man allegedly following the woman meant any harm. He says the situation was most likely a misunderstanding of 2 people traveling in the same direction. However, the sheriff says if you ever feel like you are being followed, to call 911 immediately and stay in a public area around others until police arrive.
A man is behind bars and a 15-year-old girl is back at home after police say the 2 ran away with each other on Tuesday. Police say a girl ran away from her home in Olive Hill and came to Rowan County to join 19-year-old Chalmers Springs. Spring, who has a long criminal history, met a girl at the fire station on Route 60 after she hitchhiked with a bypasser. Police say the 2 spent 2 days together camping near Little Perry Road. Following the sighting, the couple was picked up by police. Spring is being held in the Rowan County Detention Center. According to the jail records, he is being charged with custodial interference, unlawful transaction with a minor, and illegal sex acts with somebody under the age of 18.
Morehead Tourism has been awarded the Kentucky Economic Engine Award by the Kentucky Travel Industry Association. Friday, the Morehead Tourism Director Joy Brown, along with over a dozen others, gathered to receive the award, which is given only to counties that create a positive economic impact on their service area or a positive employment impact. In 2016, 881 jobs were created and over $70 million were generated by Morehead Tourism. Brown accepted the award on behalf of the Morehead Tourism Commission. Tourism is the 3rd highest grossing industry in Kentucky.
Campaign season has begun, and a little earlier than normal. NewsCenter's Nick Oliver has more.
Is it a campaign trail or a trail of signs? With the May 22nd primaries right around the corner, candidates are getting their name out there, even if that means over and over again.
Yes, they're pretty much just an eyesore, and I don't think they changed nobody's mind.
In the fall of 2014, leaders in city and county government created an ordinance calling for all campaign yard signs to only be posted within a certain time frame. 4 years later, Cecil Watkins, the Rowan County attorney, says those rules are no longer being enforced, and they won't be anytime soon. According to the city and county ordinance, these signs weren't supposed to go up until 45 days within the election. That would have been April 8th. But according to the county attorney, they've been going up since January 1st, based off permission that he gave. What gives the county attorney the right to ignore ordinance or go around an ordinance?
Well, I spoke with fiscal court prior to speaking with either of the parties. We don't want to impinge on anyone's freedom of speech, their First Amendment rights, and that's why I came forward with an announcement after speaking with fiscal court.
The announcement did not come with any formal approval from the fiscal court, but instead what Watkins calls a gentleman's handshake.
I'm giving them permission. That way they can say this has been in the news, in the newspaper, therefore I'm not violating any ordinance.
He says the complaints don't sit with the signs going up, but with them coming down.
We get more complaints about after the elections are over as opposed to before the election. People are angry when it's over that these signs are still out, sometimes 2 years later.
Complaints that weren't hard to come by.
Don't take them down after it's over is the big issue.
I think too many that stay after the campaign are eyesores. I do agree after the campaign I want them, taken down.
And the county attorney also says if you don't take the signs down up to 30 days after the election, the candidate, win or lose, can expect to pay a $10 fine per sign. For NewsCenter, I'm Nick Oliver.
Make sure to take down your campaign signs after the election. Thanks, Nick. Now for a look at the weather. Jack, it's seeming to be pretty warm outside.
That it has. It was an absolutely gorgeous day out. Had short sleeves on, just comfy, just walking along on campus. It was just wonderful.
And now is it going to stay that way?
It is actually going to warm up over the weekend, just a tad. I think we're going to peak into the low 60s, but then towards later on in the week, the bottom's going to fall out. It's going to get cold and rainy and snowy again. Typical March weather.
Well, thanks, Jack. Stay tuned. NewsCenter has more after the break.
Hey, nice shirt. Where'd you get it?
Thanks. I got it at the bookstore. They gave it out to the first 750 students to pick up an online order.
Nice.
And if you wear it to a home game, you get a free soda and a concessions discount.
Sweet. I'll have to go to more games now.
I hope I see you there.
What are your strengths, weaknesses, any prior work experience?
Strengths, I'm really desperate and need this job. Weaknesses, I don't really have any that I know, but I've been told I'm an excellent juggler.
He should have gone to the suit bank. Career Services, now located on the ground floor of the library, has free professional attire available in the suit bank. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 till 4:30. Stop by and get the right attire to ace your next interview. Hope to see you soon.
Dang it. Got it. I know what to do. Yes.
Kentucky senators finally have a budget from the House in their hands, and they must decide whether furthering taxes on cigarettes will be beneficial, contrary to the opposition on tax hikes.
Smokers in Kentucky may soon be charged an extra 50 cents per pack of cigarettes due to a budget that the House recently passed on to the state Senate, and opioids are also subject to an extra 25 cents per dose in this bill. Some smokers, such as Alex Carter, are upset about the increase, Kentucky's first since 2009.
It makes me feel like a little irritated, to be honest. As a smoker, I feel like they're kind of like stealing from me, taking more of my money, because I already spend a lot on cigarettes as it is.
I personally don't have any negative feelings towards it. I don't agree with smoking. My dad smoked, and it's just a sore subject for me.
On the other side, non-smokers like Michaela Holder have no hard feelings towards that part of the budget, acknowledging the good that could come from it, such as funding for other programs, as well as simply discouraging smokers.
It could always be just for different parts of the government to make more money. It could be to lower the smoking rates.
Yeah, they definitely have good reasoning behind this tax increase. I don't think other people should start smoking. If I wasn't already a smoker and I saw that it costs that much more, like $8 a pack, that's insane.
This is Jacob Butler for NewsCenter.
Frankfurt's tallest building is now a pile of rubble. The Capitol Tower Plaza stood over the state's capital for nearly 3 decades before being voted to be torn down 13 years ago. According to officials, the 28-story building was home to mold along with failing infrastructure. While in use, the building was used for state offices and held nearly 1,000 state employees. On Saturday, the building stood one final time. With 6 blasts, the building came tumbling down in front of thousands gathered to watch the event, including Governor Matt Bevin. NewsCenter was there and saw history take place. Take a look.
Fire!
Early Wednesday morning, students across the nation protested the one-month anniversary of the Parkland school shooting in Florida. Around 2,800 schools participated in the walkout, leaving their classrooms at 10 a.m. local time for the 17 minutes of silence. Each minute they stood was a minute for each of the 17 victims in the Parkland shooting. This walkout is one of the many events set to demonstrate the stance for stronger gun control, leading up to the massive rally called March for Our Lives that will be held in Washington, D.C. on March 24th.
A student at a Northern California school was injured when a teacher accidentally discharged a firearm while teaching a class on public safety. Dennis Alexander, who is a reserve officer with the Sand City Police Department, was teaching a lesson at the Seaside High School when he pointed his gun at the ceiling and accidentally fired it. It's currently unknown, but either a bullet fragment or debris struck and injured a 17-year-old student. The injuries were superficial, according to police, and Alexander has been placed on administrative leave from his teacher job.
Spring break is the time for students to get some R&R before pushing ahead for finals. For those who are traveling this spring break, health officials have some safety advice to make sure you return safely.
Family nurse practitioner for Student Health Services, Lindsay Barrett, has some safety advice for students eagerly awaiting spring break.
Several tips and tricks that you need to know of and be cognizant of when you're traveling, especially on spring break. If you're going to a beach safety is important. Limit the amount of alcohol that you're drinking for water safety. Also, so you can handle the tides and the currents. Rip tides are very common. If you find yourself caught in a rip tide, be sure that you're swimming parallel to the beach to escape that rip tide. Wear your sunscreen. You don't want to ruin your first experience, your first day on spring break and the rest of your trip because you got sunburnt the first day.
Students are encouraged to enjoy themselves in moderation and to keep eyes on their drinks at all times.
Alcohol is a big thing with spring break. Never take an open drink from someone that you know or that you don't know. Date rape drugs are common, especially in spring break environments, and rape is more common among people that you do know or your friends' acquaintances. So just because you know somebody doesn't mean that it's safe either. So only drink drinks that you've prepared or that you've bought and saw that the bartender has made right there in front of you.
Health Services also wants to remind students to stay safe if they find themselves engaging in any sexual activities.
Pregnancy isn't the worst thing that can occur, so be sure that you're always being safe sexually, using condoms. If you need condoms, we have them free all the time here in the clinic. Don't even have to ask for them. We'll keep them in the lobby out by the restrooms. If you have had multiple partners or an uh-oh has occurred, we do offer pregnancy testing here in the clinic, and we do also offer STD screenings by appointment.
For NewsCenter, I'm Nacogdoches Miller.
With us when we get back.
Video games by yourself?
Kiwi.
Don't have any friends to play board games with? Or any friends at all? Then come join the Moorhead State gaming community every Tuesday night at 7 to enjoy board games, video games, and more. Hosted on the second floor of the Camden Carroll Library.
It never gets old, huh?
Nope.
Kinda makes you wanna...
Breaking a song?
Yeah? I love the sunset.
I love Eagle Lake.
I love the forest.
I love when the Eagles play.
I love the campus.
And all its sights and sounds.
Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada. Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
I love philosophy.
love diversity. I love English. And all its weird words.
I love the music.
And all its melodies.
Boom-diana, 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 boom-diana. I love fraternities.
I love sororities.
I love to draw things.
And all the athletes. I love Moorhead.
It's such a pretty place.
What are your strengths, weaknesses, any prior work experience?
Strengths, I'm really desperate and need this job. Weaknesses, I don't really have any that I know, but I've been told I'm an excellent juggler.
He should have gone to the suit bank. Career Services, now located on the ground floor of the library, has free professional attire available in the suit bank. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 till 4:30. Stop by and get the right attire to ace your next interview. Hope to see you soon.
Good evening, Moorhead. Jack Calder here with your Moorhead weather update. Currently in Moorhead, it is 54 degrees with a few clouds outside. An absolutely gorgeous day out today. It was warm. It was almost short sleeve weather. Our record temp was set in 1998 at a record high of 89 degrees, and a record low was set in 1960 of -9. As you can see on our temperature map, over here in Paducah, it's running at a very comfortable 66 degrees. Moving on now, moving back over here to Bowling Green, you can see that the western part of the state is sticking in the low to mid 60s. Going up to Louisville, it is also in the mid 60s, but as we work our way over to the east, you can see that we're having a general cooling trend right about the middle of the state. Frankfort, Lexington, and London, they're dropping into the 50s, with Frankfort and Lexington being at 57, Moorhead at 55, and Ashland being at a chilly 53. Taking a look at our live radar, we're looking at absolutely nothing. It is clean, clear as a bell. Tonight's forecast, we're looking at clear weather with a low around 27. It's going to be a good night, but if you go out, bring a jacket. It's going to be a little chilly. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, going to be another gorgeous day, sunny with a high of 49 degrees. Going to be rather chilly, so again, you may want to bring a coat. All right, now taking a look at our 7-day forecast. You can see for Thursday, we're looking at 54 degrees. Friday, we're going to drop a little bit and go to 55, but starting Saturday and going into Monday, we are going to see a rise in temperatures all the way up to 62 degrees. But starting Tuesday, we're looking at a little bit of rain and snow, nothing too bad, but the temperature's going to drop out again. That's all the weather I have for you. Nay, what's happening in sports?
Winning on Game 3 out of the weekend series, the Eagles are 1-2 for the conference. Game 1 for the Eagles started off slow offensively, but defense was spot on, helping to hold the Redhawks to a minimum. Senior David Calder registered a career-high strikeout of 10 batters as the Eagles continued to battle back and forth, but fell short 5-4. Passing on to Game 2, the Redhawks got a good jump on the score early on while the Eagles was late answering back, but made a score in the top of the 5th inning. As the score sat at 0-1, the Redhawks extended their lead in the bottom of the 5th and ran off with a score of 10-3 to end the game. As the Eagles approached Game 3 of the series, they were prepared to play, but by avoiding the series sweep. After falling behind 2-0 early on, the Eagles' offense exploded in a big way after tying the game in the 3rd. When Hunter Frank hit a big one out the park, the Eagles continued on and never looked back, ending the game with a score of 8-4. On Monday this week, the Eagles were supposed to take on Jackson State, but the snow said otherwise. Take a look at this photo. Games were postponed to Wednesday and are still on standby due to weather. For your upcoming baseball action, the Moorhead Eagles have more OVC conference play against the Belmont Bruins this past weekend at Allen Field. You can watch live at Moorhead State Eagles baseball page on Facebook or catch it at statbroadcast.com. The Lady Eagles softball hosted their Moorhead State Classic this past weekend at University Field. Continuing their winning streak to 8 wins, the Lady Eagles won 2 games against the Kansas College Griffins. In Game 1 Friday evening, Moorhead started off good, capitalizing in both ends of the game. Offensively, the Eagles staked the 3-0 lead with two freshmen stepping up and adding stats, Paige Scruggs and Hannah Murphy, with both a single RBI to the first couple scores. In Game 2, the Eagles' distinguished defense helped with the second win. Pitcher Allison Rager surrendered just 2 hits and 1 earned run, also a 2-run double in its early innings. Game 3 Saturday evening against the IUPUI Jaguars was canceled due to weather. Also, this week's game Tuesday has been postponed till further notice. You can visit msueagles.com for more information and updates. Following upcoming events, the Lady Eagles host the Eagle Classic tournament this weekend in Moorhead. The University of Kentucky Wildcats took home another SEC championship victory over Tennessee Sunday, leaving them with 4 straight wins in the SEC tournament and the 31st title in the Wildcats' history. Later that night, the Wildcats learned that they will become the 5th seed in the upcoming NCAA Southern Region tournament. The Cats were 10-8 to finish off regular league play and ended up the number 4 seed in the start of the SEC tournament. As you know, the Cats fans love their team, and it has been said that the Big Blue Nation fans were behind their team 100% and collectively, of all 3 days, had the most fans in the seats at Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, Missouri. The Wildcats are now in Boise, Idaho, preparing for their first game in the tournament against the number 12 seeded Davidson. You can watch that game at 7:10 p.m. on CBS. Jesse Watchman and the volleyball team are trying their hand at something new this year with kicking off their first season of beach volleyball here at Moorhead State. Sports reporter Miranda Crockett got to talk with their redshirt senior as she starts her new journey.
Hi, my name is Jessie Watchman. I'm a redshirt junior here at Moorhead State, and I play indoor volleyball and beach volleyball. I first started playing volleyball back when I was in about 4th or 5th grade. It wasn't really my primary sport. I played basketball a lot and was really involved with AAU and doing basketball things, but once I got to high school, kind of had to pick based on scholarship-wise, like where I wanted to play in college. I chose to come to Moorhead State because when I came on my visit, it was a very family atmosphere within the team and just a very close-knit group of people and people who actually cared about me on the volleyball court and off the volleyball court. All of us started to play beach volleyball a little bit unexpectedly. On the beach side of things, the game is very different, the rules are very different, the environment is very different being outside. It's offered some great opportunities for us to become more well-rounded volleyball players. As a hitter, I've become better at serving, passing, setting. As a senior, I definitely feel a heavy leadership role. I feel that I have really earned that throughout the years by building good relationships and connections with each of my teammates as the years have gone on and as people have gone and as people have come on the team. But I just feel a big push to keep everyone focused and stay in the moment and to make sure that we're controlling the things that we're able to control. If we do all of those things and play as hard as we can, then the outcome will determine itself.
We'll be right back after the break.
Moorhead Theater students are hoping to showcase their talent across the Pacific Ocean, and with the help of a 5K, they hope to make their dreams a reality. The crew from last semester's play, Einstein's Dream, have been given the opportunity to perform in Scotland. To raise money for the event, leaders say they are holding a fun run. They say the race will be held on April 7th. Organizers tell us the race will be different than others. They say stations in the race will focus on aspects of the play, including puzzles, hula hoops, and stilts. To join, registration begins March 30th with a $20 entrance fee.
It's almost that time again when we must say goodbye to our seniors. But before they go, the graduation fair is one stop they won't regret making. NewsCenter's James Daniels was there.
The graduation fair is a time for graduating students to pick up their caps and gowns and talk with a few services to help ease their transition from college to grad school or even the workforce.
And we're here to really represent what the Career Center offers to students. We work with students at every portion of their journey here at Moorhead, but certainly at the end as they're transitioning into the workforce or to graduate school. So today we're here to remind students that we're here to assist with resume preparation, employment search, interview skills, and so forth. And we're also collecting information on what our students are doing next, whether they're heading right out into the field or heading into graduate school. And
I spoke with senior David Tran about what he plans to do after he graduates.
I'm about to get my bachelor's in accounting, and after I graduate, I plan to move back to Louisville for a bit and get a job at an accounting company and hopefully move back home to Minnesota, where I'm from.
For any students who missed the grad fair today, they will still be up tomorrow from 10 to 5. For NewsCenter, I'm James Daniels.
To end the surge of false information being passed around on the internet, America's most popular video website is putting an end to conspiracy videos. Whether it's school shootings being staged or the earth being flat, YouTube says they plan to be the trendsetter in discouraging these actions. The website says they plan to watch out for third-party sources as well as links that could lead to spam. YouTube has led the nation in the spread of misinformation by users of the site. The company says they plan to launch their new initiative soon.
Now for a story that might be too cheesy for some viewers, but we're just going to bite right into it. A recent study found like pizza is a bigger motivator than money when it comes to making people more productive to work when it is used as a stimulus boost. It might sound like something that a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle came up with, but according to the psychologist Dan Airley, an experiment showed when compared to compliments, money, and simply nothing at all, pizza was the biggest motivator to get people working harder. The experiment was conducted on factory workers and showed that pizza increased productivity by 6.7% on the first day alone. So if you're really desperately looking to an excuse to cheat on your diet, this might just be the one.
I mean, that's a good enough excuse for me to cheat on my diet.
Good for me.
Well, that's all the news we have for this week. Make sure to tune in next week to keep updated on the latest stories. Actually, not next week, 2 weeks from now after spring break.
As always, thanks for watching. Good night.